The regular NFL season has come to a close in very dramatic fashion. And when examining players' rookie card sales on eBay, we are seeing some of the highest single sales and sales volumes of the entire season, which is why I make these videos, so you know which players to sell, which to hold, and which to buy heading into the playoffs when we know there's an amplified level of hype off of any given one single highlight or game. And knowledge is power, because the NFL playoffs are here. Let's dig in. With the chaotic finish on Sunday, the Colts were eliminated from the playoffs, the Chargers were eliminated from the playoffs, and the Baltimore Ravens were eliminated from the playoffs. So here's the current bracket, which is different than all of the years in the past. We have an extra 2 teams this year in the playoff bracket, which means things are done a little differently. The second seed no longer gets a first round bye. Only the number 1 seed from each conference get a first round bye. That is the Titans in the AFC and the Packers in the NFC. And then from there, you have the second highest seed playing the lowest seed. So you have the Bucks versus the Eagles this week in a wild card week. And you have the Cowboys, number 3 seed, playing the 49ers in the number 6 seed. And the Rams, the number 4 seed, playing the Cardinals, the number 5 seed, on Monday Night Football. It's going to be an absolute wild finish to a wild card weekend. On the AFC side, you have the number 2 Chiefs hosting the number 7 Steelers. You have the number 3 Bills hosting the number 6 Patriots, and the number 4 Bengals hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. And a phenomenal hyped up game for the AFC based on the way Joe Burrow played in week 16 and week 17. And he rested for week 18. So it's important when considering guys to rookie cards to buy right now, you need to take this bracket into consideration, because if you're buying players' rookie cards on eBay right now to flip this weekend, there's a very finite hype window. If your player's rookie card that you're buying is knocked out of the playoffs after this weekend, there is going to be a cool-off. There is going to be a little bit of a letdown period, a dip, before people are back on them, because the winners are going to be focused on. They're going to be hyped up. They're going to be moving closer to the Super Bowl. So you have to take that time constraint into consideration. Buying a card on eBay this week, you're probably not going to get it until the beginning of next week, in which case you've got to open it, take the picture, relist it. So when you're buying rookie cards right now, it's important to look at guys on the Titans and Packers, because they're guaranteed not to lose this week. They're not playing. So let's start off by looking at the hype for Joe Burrow. We know the hype is still extremely high for him after how he played in week 17 and week 16, and that has continued to build into this week. So we've continued to see his values trickle up, continue to go up, and not to mention his highest sales continue to go up. Now, whether these are real sales or not, this one absolutely blew my mind, and I polled a bunch of people on Card Twitter, and it seems that there's been a variety of different responses, but the consensus is that there's no way this could be a real sale. This National Treasures Gold RPA numbered out of 10 on Card Auto was listed to buy it now for $130,000, HGA 9.5. 130 point confirms that an offer was accepted for $75,000 just Tuesday, January 11th for this card. Say what? Another record sales. We're seeing a lot of high sales, a lot of people willing to dish out tons of money for Joe Burrow. He currently tops the QB hype chart. Another guy that is up there that is comparable to Joe Burrow in terms of their draft class is 2020 rookie Jalen Hurts. He's in a playoff position here, playing the biggest game of his NFL career against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this weekend. And he is a true dual threat quarterback. He played really well in week 17. He was rested in week 18. Gardner Minshew got the start there, but in week 17 he played really well, led the Eagles to a win, and now he gets the biggest moment of his career. When you look at his sales, the prices, the volumes, the volume is solid, but the prices are way under that of Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, so there's a ton of room for growth on Jalen Hurts, because his prices on average are anywhere between 5 to 10 times lower than Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. And whenever I look at his highest sales, he is having his highest sales right now. Look at this transaction that just popped off today, guys, for a National Treasures RPA 1 out of 1. Buy it now. $70,000 on card auto BGS 9. People are willing to gamble quite a bit of money on this young man right here. And in fact, that's what the hype is all about, right? That's what the speculation about. A hype is driven by speculation and fear of missing out. Because if Jalen Hurts wins this playoff game, I think even if he doesn't win, he's going to say enough to the Philadelphia front office and the coaching staff that he is their man moving forward, that they do not need to go out and trade or sign another QB, that he is their guy they can groom as a franchise quarterback, and the sales are going up. As a result, this playoff performance is the defining moment for Jalen Hurts' young career to this point. $32,000 is what this card was sold for just Wednesday, January 12th. So I look at Derrick Henry making a comeback because he's not even playing this week. There's going to be pure hype building for him. They're resting this week, the bye week. They're going to be fully rested, ready to go. An important thing to note is the wide receivers for Tennessee are also healthy. A.J. Brown, Julio Jones. We're going to talk about those guys a little bit later in this video. But when I look at Derrick Henry prices, they are on the way back up, guys. Some pretty impressive sales, including his base optic hollow, $35. That is pretty solid when you look at 2016 rookies. He is a first-year rookie, so someone else you can compare him to who is elite in their own position, but they're also a 2016 rookie, is Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. And you remember looking at that playoff bracket, the Dallas Cowboys are playing the 49ers. So the Dallas Cowboys are favorites to win this game based on how well their defense is playing, how many weapons they have on offense. They're the number 3 seed, right? If he has a big game this week, and I think his values will go up, because right now his 2016 optic rookie cards are at the same value as Derrick Henry. I think that Dak Prescott's cards have room to go up. Now, if you're trying to buy and flip those for an immediate flip, then you want to look at ComC, and that's especially where I'd like to go to look at 2021 defensive phenom Micah Parsons making the 2021 PFF All-Pro defensive team as a flex defensive position, because not only was this guy the highest graded pass rusher on the season, and he's a rookie, but he was also sent into coverage, deep coverage, with, like a defensive back on like roughly 30% of dropbacks. So this guy his athletic ability is absolutely insane. His ability to cover the entire field and play any role on defense is amazing. So you can see it reflected in his rookie card prices. Like his base Donruss cards are up to $525. The Press Proof Premium, this is the one, the gold foil, is up to $20.25. You can see the best sale there on December 31st up to $28. And we don't know whether Trey Lance or Jimmy G is going to be quarterbacking this Press Proof Blue. You can see there last quarter 10 sales, this quarter 2 sales. He's got up to 25 just back in December when he had that monster game against Washington there in December. But these cards, I think, should go up as he potentially wins Defensive Player of the Year, as he potentially makes some massive highlights in the wild card weekend playoffs this weekend. I love me some Micah Parsons. We've talked about him before. You can see the sales activity on eBay. There's a ton of different sales from a variety of different investment collection levels. People want to get themselves a part of some Micah Parsons. Look at this Mosaic Hyper Press Proof Donruss rated rookie going for $110 and a buy it now format. That's because there is a perception of scarcity around the 2021 rookie cards, and the major sets have still not been released. Prism, Optic, Select have still not been released, and they've also been postponed in their release dates. So those cards should continue to hold value continue to appreciate for these guys in the playoffs. The 130 points shows that it was accepted at 16.25, and this one was actually popped up twice within the last month. Chances are because the seller never got paid from this transaction on December 14th, so now they listed it again, this time at a higher price, and wanting to capitalize on that hype, and they got a little bit extra, $125. So hopefully that buyer. Hobby tip, guys, if you commit to buy something, if you make an offer, expect it to be accepted and pay for it when it's accepted. If you're a seller and you get an offer, I don't know, man, I'd be more tempted to accept it on a lot more things, just to move the cards, to move the volume, to give that buyer financial room to grow in the card. I think it does a lot of good things for the hobby. You can't talk about the Dallas Cowboys defense without talking about Trayvon Diggs. He's got the most interceptions in the NFL this year, and he's played incredible, right? 11 interceptions. He can have some big highlights, some big games. His card prices have come down a lot from the middle of the season. You can still see tons of transactions, tons of volume, sales volume for him. Big market, top defensive player in the playoffs, and a rookie. Not a 2021 rookie, but he still gets point bonuses for being a 2020 rookie when you're looking at the hype index. So his biggest sale was actually a 1 out of 1 Prism that was listed as a buy it now for $2,000. You pop over to 130 point, you can see that was accepted for $1,350 on Saturday. Massive sale for Trayvon Diggs. You can see the additional money, resources that are being spent on football cards right now. Talking back about the 2021 class, if you look at the running back hype index chart, Najee Harris on the Pittsburgh Steelers, who find a way to squeak into the playoffs, is leading the hype index chart for running back. That would be Jonathan Taylor, but Carson Wentz went out and was not able, had a couple of nasty turnovers in that game, and the Colts were not able to secure a win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Najee Harris is our most hyped running back going into the playoffs, and his cards are definitely have a lot of value, a lot of volume. You know, he's a 2021 rookie. There's cards selling across the board for him. You have that illusion of scarcity, but when comparing his to even a Micah Parsons, you're seeing about half the price. And we're going to look at some more 2021 rookies, but just this one right off, here's the Press Proof Hyper Prism that we just saw sold for Micah Parsons for $100. Well, this one sold for roughly $40 to $50 on Najee. It just doesn't quite have the same pop, that same star appeal that a Micah Parsons has right now. Now, if Najee had a potentially a different quarterback behind the center, maybe a better offensive line, now all of a sudden we're going to see a lot more hype for Najee. However, there still is considerable amount of money being spent on Najee rookie cards right now, like this PSA 9 Gold Kaboom that was listed in a buy it now for $4,000. When I popped to 130 point, that one was actually accepted at 50% of that for $2,000 just Monday, January 10th. So people are definitely buying into some of that hype, but of course he's a 2021 rookie. So if you really want to get in on the flip action this weekend, you want to look at his cards on ComC, and you can want to comp those across to other 2021 rookies. Another running back that tops the hype index chart for running backs is Elijah Mitchell across the field from the Dallas Cowboys on the San Francisco 49ers. This guy's really exploded on the scene this year, and I find what's interesting is that Elijah Mitchell was not drafted in the first round, so it has the appearance that Panini does not print as many cards for players that aren't drafted in the first round, because you see a lot more sold out for Elijah Mitchell, and I don't necessarily think that Elijah Mitchell is more demanded than Najee Harris. I think that a Najee Harris definitely has a bigger market in Pittsburgh, and Najee Harris has had a better season, so he should be more demanded. However, Elijah Mitchell's had a pretty impressive highlight reel this season. He's also on a very large market for San Francisco, diehard fan base, but nobody is more demanded right now from 2021 rookies in terms of skill position in the playoffs than Jamar Chase, who just had the absolutely nuclear game in week 17. And look at what his press proof premiums are. We just talked about Micah at 20. You look at Jamar, his are now up to over $60, guys. A confirmed sale just a week ago for $63. Jamar Chase's cards, his base Donruss rated rookies, are now up to almost 10. If you look at some color match stuff, 2 at 45, a confirmed sale at 20. So we're absolutely still seeing a massive demand spike for Jamar Chase. In fact, you know, when I look at the sales volume, it's through the roof. And we had over 1,000 sales this past weekend when they didn't even play. I mean, they're rivaling that of Joe Burrow, right? We look at his highest sale from recently. We have a 1 of 1, guys, a 1 of 1 Prism Select Redemption. This is a beautiful card in my opinion. This select 1 out of 1 redemption, it was listed for $12,500 and the offer was accepted at $9,000, guys, Wednesday, January 5th. We also find that his Kaboom went in an auction, PSA 10 Kaboom from the Absolute set, $5,100, another record sale in the past 90 days for Jamar Chase. Now, when you look at the number 1 wide receiver overall in the league, that is Cooper Kupp on the LA Rams, playing Monday night against the Arizona Cardinals. Cooper Kupp has got a nose for the end zone with Matt Stafford. Him and Matt Stafford meeting for breakfast during the week, have built an incredible connection, so much so that you can see the values for Cooper Kupp have eclipsed that of Christian McCaffrey. They are, for 2017 skill position, the highest you'll see for any skill position player from the 2017 draft class. And so when you look at his values, we're talking today, January 12th, $40 for a base prism that's also silver, $20 for that base optic, $26 for the prism select. And when I look at Cooper Kupp's biggest sales, yeah, he's peaking right now, the end of December, the beginning of January. In fact, someone spent $10,100 on a Cooper Kupp gold vinyl 1 out of 1 PSA 10 in an auction that ended just 10 days ago. But look at all these end of December and beginning of January sales. These are his highest sales in the past 90 days, all right here at the beginning of January. And when you have a lower expectation and then you have a much higher level of output, that leads to a direct increase in rookie card values across the board for that player. Here's a January 9th one. This was just Sunday for $3,499. But the guy I love to look at, my guy who I'm super collecting and always investing in, is Big Mike on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh man, Tom Brady knows how to put it in a breadbasket for this guy. Top 5 in the league for touchdowns this year. And that's like a big part of his game. We see some nice volume here going for 2014 rookie. This is when things get a lot more interesting because this is when you have tops in play, a lot of different sets. When I look at his largest sale, it was a rookie ticket auto BGS 9.5 auto 10, the playoff ticket. Numbered out of 10, numbered 5 out of 10, that sold for $1,800. But it is important that anytime you look at a guy like Mike Evans, the best comparable player to look at him is to compare to him is Davante Adams from the Green Bay Packers, who is now a Packers Hall of Fame, quickly becoming an NFL Hall of Famer with Aaron Rodgers, and they're resting this week. They don't have to play until the divisional round. And when you compare Mike Evans to Davante Adams, you definitely see Davante Adams' cards are more expensive. And there's definitely considerable amount of sales volume for Davante. And when I look at his highest sales, I can see that his highest sale was also a rookie ticket auto, but this one was cracked ice, numbered out of 22, raw, guys. With that beautiful on-card auto, you can see the number 17 there in his signature. I think it's cool. 18 out of 22, $1,000, one bid. This sold on January 8th. So very important to compare those two guys against each other. Comp them out. If you find one much lower than the other, that is telling me to buy. Now we go back to those teams that are resting this week, like Devontae Adams. The Tennessee Titans, man, they got all their wide receivers healthy. This is a defining moment for Ryan Tannehill's career. His cards are considerably undervalued compared to that of a Russell Wilson. And we look at his sales, like he is seeing an increase in his sales volume. In fact, that's my card right there that I sold. And I'm getting offers on a couple other Ryan Tannehills that I have, Prisms. That's the main card for me to look at in 2012. The first year Prism. It is a beautiful card, thick card stock. I mean, it's a collection piece in and of itself just because of first year Prism. And so you look at the values of a PSA 9 for $21.50. That's probably a $100 plus card for Russell Wilson, even with Russ not in the playoffs. So I'm not saying that Tannehill should be at that level, but he should maybe be at half the hype. He is in the playoffs. He does have some tremendous weapons, such as Hall of Fame wide receiver Julio Jones, who's healthy. He had some nice plays in Week 18. Julio's back, all right? We can see the sales volume right here. We got to go back to 2011. This also brings tops in play. You see some pretty interesting transactions, but playoff contenders, rookie ticket autos for $130. That seems a little underpriced for me for a Hall of Fame wide receiver. I look at his biggest sale was actually this card right here. It's a 2011 Topps Chrome Refractor, ball chest high, PSA 10 low pop, $900. What's interesting is that this card was actually accepted at $705. I can imagine someone was probably holding on to it for a while. Also, you have to look at A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown was a guy that had high expectations coming into the season, struggled with injuries throughout the season, and has now basically regained his expectation status going into this next week. He is a dominant yards after the catch, physical receiver who is going to be heavily involved, heavily targeted by Ryan Tannehill in the upcoming divisional playoff game. And it's important to comp him. You know, he's a 2019 rookie. So what you can do is go and comp him to a guy like Deebo Samuel on the San Francisco 49ers. That's a pretty fair comparison right there. Or Deontay Johnson on the Pittsburgh Steelers, another 2019 rookie. All wide receivers, all relatively equal hype. I would say that A.J. Brown's got the best athletic profile out of those three. Deebo's going to be very close. And then Deontay is just a playmaker. He doesn't quite have the size and the speed, athleticism that those two guys do, but he is a playmaker. He's got a nose for the end zone. A.J. Brown has seen some very big sales since he's been back. However, you can see most of his were earlier in the year. Before he did have one nuclear game earlier in the season, there was a reaction in the market to that. So his biggest sale in the last couple days is a cracked ice out of 23 for $590. Hey, what? Now we talk about defensive players and talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Linebacker, defensive edge, TJ Watt ties Michael Straham's all-time single-season sack record of 22.5. We have seen some considerable demand for TJ Watt. He is a very dominant player. 2017 rookie, definitely a notable mention here. Looking at some of his biggest sales, this one from January 9th, just Sunday when he tied that record. Check out this one that went off, guys, in auction for $2,725. It's a gold optic autographed card from TJ Watt. It doesn't unfortunately have the rated rookie logo. It's a rookie card, but this is a sick card. That's a sick card. Another guy to, of course, talk about in this video. We cannot have a wild card weekend video without talking about Josh Allen on the Buffalo Bills, man, who puts that team on his back week in and week out. They're now playing their third game against the Patriots this year. Who's is going to come out on top? The Patriots won the first one, the Bills won the second one, and now the Patriots are going back to Buffalo for a third game. The thing is, Josh Allen had a ton of hype coming into this season, so his biggest sales have not been this past week, even though he did finish the #1 fantasy QB on the season. However, he got passed up on the Pro Bowl, oddly enough, which was very strange. His largest sale was this select die cut with a blurry photo for that was accepted, best offer accepted, but nothing compared to what his cards were selling for at the beginning of the season. That's when you saw his biggest sales. So quick reminder, I am going to be live tomorrow night with Steve the Hitman Caladesi, talking playoffs, live betting for the wild card weekend. Also going to be talking a little bit about our strategy for the playoffs and diving into all things related to Underdog Fantasy Football. Promo code QUEST if you're a new user. Get that 100% deposit bonus and card dog action, baby. That means taking our fantasy knowledge and applying it to the sports card market, y'all. So I hope to see you guys there. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Plus, I've also got a mail day video coming out later this week. One of my top priorities right now is to list as many cards as I can. I listed a ton of cards yesterday. I'm listing my butt off, guys, to get my listings ready. You want to have your listings ready to go, capture any hype coming in the playoffs. I've sold way more cards this past week than I have in the last couple months, so it's exciting times. We've got really exciting times for football card right now. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Subscribe, like, comment. I'll see you in that next one. Peace. Shout out to all the Quest patrons out there. Thank you so much, guys, for your support, supporting this show, helping us take it to the next level. If you guys want to check out all the bonus exclusive content, giveaways, Discord, boom, the whole 9 yards we're putting out over through patreon.com. It's easy. Patreon.com/footballcard, guys. It's only $6 a month. No brainer. I'll see you guys in that next one. Peace.